So what's going on, everyone? Yeah, I'm drinking wine right now. It's a rosé. Yeah, I've got wine, you got beer, I guess. How's it going, Juan Velasquez, B2 Constitute, potato juice? That's so funny. How's it going, B2? Good to see ya. Yeah, things are getting pretty crazy here. They're saying, like, we have no fuel, and yeah, I've managed to score some jerry cans, though, at the last minute. Running low on the jerry cans, so I scored a few more. Doing pretty good now, but we have a lot more flooding to go. What's happened so far is just the start. How's it going, Jimmy Lakari? And then, yeah, we can't get anything in here, so if you haven't already bought your food for the next month, you're probably not gonna be eating too well. Crazy times. And on top of that, we have a couple more of these atmospheric rivers, we call them. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm doing alright. But there's definitely rough times to come. You know what? You can feel it in the air. And a lot of people are... Like, the BC government has said that this is only going to be a 10-day fuel shortage, and then food and stuff, it will probably be less than that. But what I'm hearing, 10 days, and then everything that caused these issues is going to keep happening. What's going on, Will Land? Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot longer than 10 days. I think the flooding's going to get worse before it gets better. And yeah, we're going to have another couple of these real major downpours like we just had. But I have gold, silver, and wine, so I'm happy. But definitely crazy times we're living in right now over here. It almost feels like you're isolated from, like, BC's like just cut off from the rest of the world. Yeah, water I'm not too worried about, because we have aquifers and everything all around, and I just keep a case of bottled water in the garage anyways. I think I got 2 cases, but yeah, the water I'm not too worried about. The one thing that I need more of is the gas. I've got about 125 liters of gas. But yeah, I know it's going to be a lot longer than 10 days without fuel. But BC has so much fresh water, it's not really a major concern for people in BC. There's lots of places you could just walk to and drink right from the aquifer. There's a tap and everything like that. And it's cut off from everything else, really, so I was like fed from way up north, so where nobody is. So I highly doubt there's going to be pollution in there or anything like that. But definitely a change from the normal situation we are used to. we buy by the liter, and it's depending on where you go. Some gas stations, all they have is 94 octane. That's like $2 a liter, just over. And yeah, that's all my car takes, so I'm kind of lucky like that, because if your car takes 87, you shouldn't be putting 94 octane in it. But if your car takes 94 and nobody else wants to buy the 94 or try to stockpile it because it's expensive, it leaves some at different gas stations for me. But there's a lot where you're just, like, you'd be driving around and just come across all these different gas stations all boarded up, taped off, there's nothing there. But if there's nothing around, you're willing to pay that $2 a liter, trust me. Right now, I'm just happy to have gas. What's going on, Muscle Shell? Yeah, I can stay warm if I lose power. Yeah, it's over $7 a gallon. But we don't have any gas, right? So they could charge $5 a gallon. People will buy it. Right now, $5 a liter. People will buy $5 a liter gas right now. I guarantee it. Yeah, we had some natural disasters here, so it's pretty crazy. What's going on, number one thug? But yeah, all these different, we had a bunch of fires which in the summer, which made it so it wiped out a bunch of trees. So now the soil doesn't absorb any of this rain that we're getting nowadays, right? So it's causing all these landslides, like all these different highways are shut down. There's just too much landslides there because of the forest fires, and now you're having all these major rain, and you can't have, because there's no trees left to soak up that rain because of all the fires. Yeah, it just causes these major landslides and everything, so all the highways are shut down, you can't bring things in or get things out. And with all this flooding, that's why I haven't been doing the giveaways and the live stream lately, because I can't even ship them out. And yeah, that's kind of sucks, but I'll do some nice giveaways though after. But yeah, it's pretty crazy around here right now in BC. Yeah, I bet you're getting it then. It's all coming up from down south. It's like blowing in from over the ocean there, vacation time. So you're probably getting the exact same one. I'm probably getting the next one that's coming our way, like right about now. But just with the no trees to absorb all of this rain and stuff, it's just causing all this different landslides and everything. That's causing this major flooding everywhere because the trees can't absorb any of it. So yeah, it's kind of like one thing in the summer and luckily, like, my house isn't flooded or anything. I live on a hill that's like pretty high up in elevation compared to everything else around, so I'm not worried about my place getting flooded or anything, but just having the communities flooded and all that, it just backs everything up and it makes nothing doable. You can't get in or out or go anywhere, the borders are shut down and all that. And like we have to go through this big hassle if if just come back into Canada, like the States will take us no problem, but coming back into Canada is the issue. If we go to a different country and all that to get gas or anything from down south. So, yeah, I think it's funny how the States is like, yeah, come down here, get your stuff, we'll take your money. We love to have you guys spend your money down here. We just want gas, we want food. You know what I mean? What's going on, BC Treasure Trails? How have you been affected by all of this flooding and everything lately? It's Mr. Sparkle Socks who runs the show. He said on the 30th we get an exemption from everyone else in Canada, and we could go down south and buy food, buy gas, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, really? Yeah, we don't have snow yet. That's crazy. So it's not flooding then, it's just a bunch of snow. Yeah, so we have a couple orders that are supposed to be shipped that are... I just had to email people and be like, yeah, I can't ship it right now. You can lock in the price or whatever, lock in the deal and all that, but... like, a lot of things are shut down, and like, you're just trying to get whatever you can, whatever odds and ends you need. Yeah, I call him Mr. Sparkle Socks. There's a few other names I could call him, but I don't think that it's appropriate on YouTube. So I'll call him Mr. Sparkle Socks. Oh, thanks. The skulls, I actually ended up pouring these myself. I'm pretty happy about that. I think I polished this one up a bit too much, though. I kind of like the rough styling on this one. That's not overly polished, just the right amount. Yeah, the shine is nice, but I find something about the not going through all the effort to polish it. I just like it on this one. I got to a point where I'm like, that looks nice, and I kind of stopped. Optimus Prime Minister. Yeah, so not really a whole lot of time to make a lot of videos. Probably this week or the next week, or this past week. But yeah, I'm still trying to ration out the fuel so I could still go and go to the auctions and stuff like that. Still get some pretty cheap gold from there. But yeah, pretty happy about just having everything I need for now. At least for the next little bit. But yeah, I feel like when like John Horgan, he's the guy, he's in charge of BC, the premier of BC. That's what we call it. So he's saying don't hoard food, don't hoard gas or anything, so that's telling me that's the first thing I should be hoarding. At least that's what it's telling me. But I feel like food I have more than enough of. I'm not really gonna buy any of that, but gas, I definitely need more gas. I have a guzzler. Yeah, I've got, like, my son, he likes the spicy Mr. Noodles. So I have, like, 2 big things like that, just kind of normally sitting around. Yeah, I feel like, I don't feel like I need to buy any food. I feel like I'll leave the food for others who need it. I feel like there's definitely people who need food more than me. So I'm kind of just gonna live off of the reserves or whatever for a bit. I kind of would feel bad buying food when others need to eat and the shelves are pretty empty. And I already have food in my house. Buy toilet paper. Yeah, there's a lot of stores that don't have toilet paper. I feel like I'm a bit more calm, though, than a lot of people buying. Like, once everything's happening and stuff like that, and now the supplies are limited, I feel like I should only buy what I need. And everything else should be left for others who need it. That's just kind of how I feel, though. But, like, I gotta drive out as an electrician to work every single day in order to make money and in order to provide and all that, so the gas is what I want to get more of, because I'm thinking it could be like a month. Potentially. Probably not a full month, but I'm thinking it could potentially get that bad. But it's also every trip you make, if you see a gas station that has gas, you fill up. It doesn't matter if you're already full. You just fill up. You say, hey, there's gas here, I'm gonna fill it up anyways. Yeah, I feel like the flood hasn't affected me even nearly as bad as people a bit east of where I live. Because I live out by the coast, right? But just a bit inland, like in Abbotsford area and stuff like that. They are, like, it's real bad there. Like, everything's underwater. And those people I really feel for. So for me, I feel like I haven't even been affected that much compared to them. Yeah, there's definitely panic buying taking place. I'm not really doing the panic buying, but I know I need more gas to get through this stretch. So so I'm keeping like an empty jerry can in my car every time I go out. And when I see a gas station that's full, I'll fill up or whatever. And we can only buy 30 liters at a time, so you might need to, per visit or whatever, so you might need to leave and then do a visit, like come back and fill up the jerry can or something like that. But yeah, you're not allowed to buy more than 30 liters of gas at once now, unless you're an essential vehicle or something like that. It needs to be for essential purposes, like if I was working, still doing the street lighting and traffic signals and stuff like that, yeah, I'd be able to get do what I want with the gas station. But right now, because I'm not doing that at the moment, I'm doing maintenance at the dump. One of the dumps, or transfer stations by where I live. Yeah, I don't really get to do that. Although maybe they've considered that to be an essential service, but I feel like someone would have told me, whereas street lighting and everything, they're like, no, you're an essential worker, you get to do all of this stuff, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, Merritt's being hit real hard. I could imagine Hope would have been hit hard, like pretty hard too, just completely isolated from everything throughout all of this. Oh no, I'm actually doing real work at the transfer station. Right now I'm, doing fire alarm upgrades. And yeah, I'm doing all the work because I'm subcontracted to there. Right? I don't actually work for the city. It's just the city electrician doesn't know how to do this work, so they hired me. Funny how that works. He either doesn't know how, or he's too lazy and doesn't feel like it, or whatever. I think that's funny, though. Yeah, doing some lighting upgrades there too, and like they want all their fans and everything done and rewired, and I have to pull a bunch of new cables because yeah, the concrete's rotting, they're chipping away, people have hit live wires and stuff like that in the slab. Crazy. Yeah, so we basically have to remove it, or like remove everything at the panel from that feeds all that stuff and rewire all of it. Well, that's a nice chill job. The only bad part really is there's like rats and mice all over the place. You don't want to bring food in there, and you don't want to put your coffee down. You just don't want to do that. Otherwise, you don't want to drink it or anything, or eat your food or anything like that. And the smell. The smell really is awful. Oh, this is built like over 100 years ago. Like it's really old. And they're kind of rebuilding it piece by piece while keeping everything like operational and all that. So yeah, there's a lot in that area, Kenny Mars. There's a lot of I hear there's quite a few stretches of the Coquihalla that's shut down. There's stretches of 99 that have been shut down. It's kind of like everywhere is just kind of isolated from each other. Yeah, I've been to the island a few times, and there's nothing really special about it. It's the main island, like Victoria or whatever, but there's some other islands up the coast that you might want to check out. They're pretty nice. Yeah, no taxes in Florida too, eh, Sarge? How's it going? Ugh. Right now, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Things are crazy here, Sarge, with all the flooding and everything. Like, I'm just trying to track down some gas and everything, get my car filled up. Try to keep some gas in reserves. A lot of the store shelves are just completely empty. Yeah, things are pretty crazy over here right now. Yeah, I got a... That's the thing, I'm lucky where I have 2 cars. So if I ever really run out of gas, it's almost like I've got a spare car that's... It's got a half tank at least. That's at least an extra little bit. And I can always throw insurance on that and then drive that around for a couple days if I have to. Yeah, some of the decisions that he makes is absolutely insane. And after seeing a map of after the election day of he was voting for Hugh, I just can't cheer for any Toronto sports teams anymore. Now I fully dislike the Maple Leafs and the Raptors. Yeah, I use the ethanol free. That doesn't really go bad. The 94, because I need, I've got a high compression ratio for my car, so it needs to be able to handle that compression, so I need to go a higher octane. Which is lucky for me, though, because right now everyone's using 87, they can't put 94 in. Like, they shouldn't be going that high. They might be able to go up to an 89, 91, but 94 is a bit too high, right? But for me, I've got a 13.5 compression ratio. So I need the 94. Like, 91 is a very, very minimum octane grade for what my car can handle. Yeah, right now there's too much going on for me to care about sports. I just can't. Yeah, the Octane booster, I have a couple things in my garage, but what's going on, Sean47? With the 94 being what's available, and like there's a lot of chevrons that have 94. Like they all have 94 here, so, but all the normal gas is out. At least at a lot of the chevrons it's out. The occasion, like I come by some and they might have some, like I noticed the one by my house was out last night, but they had some this morning and now they're out again by like the time I got off work. Crazy how fast that, like how long that lasted. Everyone just kind of, oh, they have gas, let's go fill up. And without being able to fill up more than 30 liters at a time, it just creates panic. But yeah, Sarge, I've got about, I've got 4 25-liter jerry cans. And then I have a 10-liter jerry can, just because I'd leave that in the car though, just because my fuel gauge doesn't work. Because they have an Infinity and yeah, they're notorious for not working at all. Funny how a luxury car doesn't even have a working fuel gauge, and that's what it's famous for. Then I ended up, you know, like, it's funny, I know people who are trying to barter for things right now. They're trying to get things because they just can't get it in stores. And now normally I have a bunch of frozen crab in my fridge around this time of year after the summer, but with the borders shut down, I haven't gone to over the line to the States. There's been no crabbing or anything like that, so yeah, there's a bit less food reserves than normal, but I'm looking around the house and I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna be fine. Ouch, that's too bad, Sean47. If you guys ever want great info on what's going on with silver, check out Rob Keen's latest video. TikTok. Have a great... Thanks for stopping by, B2. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Got Constitutional at $21 face and it's going up. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get... Right now, there's one auction that I'm looking forward to. What's coming up? I'm trying to get a bunch of gold just under melt value. What's going on, Saxon Stacker? Yeah, so it's kind of hard to keep up with the markets and everything even. I've just been throwing Bloomberg on the radio. Yeah, that's kind of how I've been staying up to date lately. not really... They never really give a full-in picture of things, though. That's the only thing. They kind of just bring people on, let them talk, which is nice. It's different than, like, promoting one narrative or the other, but I find they don't go over all, like, of the topics that are going on that day. Like, they pick and choose. Oh, nice. That's at least something, Sean. I gotta get a new battery for my Camaro, and then I'll have a backup car for when my Infiniti runs out of gas. But yeah, the Camaro is more of a project that is still in progress. It runs and drives, and it runs okay, but like, it's not really running good. I mean, it stalls every once in a while when you're just driving down the street, just cruising or whatever, so yeah, it's not exactly... It's not exactly a solid car. But one thing that I am learning now is exactly what I may need to keep more in reserves of. And part of me was thinking I need to get like a real good generator. If I could find a generator for cheap, I'm gonna just probably buy the next cheap generator that actually has a decent output, decent reliability and everything. Yeah, I could siphon fuel, but I feel like I'd rather just put the insurance on that and drive that. It's almost like an excuse to insure the Camaro when it's not summer. Well, I'm on a hill, right? So I'm not flooded where I am, but I drive out and like you can't go to some areas, but my route to work isn't flooded and stuff like that. So yeah, with all this craziness and everything, I've still been going to work and everything, and I'm surprised how many people are actually showing up and dumping off their garbage at the transfer station. Sarge, I used to have a Geo Metro. I loved that car. That car was the most... It was the most reliable car. Like, it could break down and still run okay. And it was so underpowered, it was almost hilarious how underpowered it was. I loved that thing though. But then, once I had my son and everything, I'm just like, okay, gotta get rid of this, and I have to have something that's not gonna kill him when he's inside of it, if something happens. But I love that Geo Metro, that was awesome. It had character. That's what a car needs to have. It has to have character. It doesn't need to be the fastest, or it doesn't need to be a cool car or anything, but it needs to have character. Or if it doesn't have character, it just needs to be a solid thing that's perfect for what you need. Oh yeah, I'd fill up like once every month, month and a half. it was insane how fuel efficient that thing was. Although I remember when he put two people, when I was carpooling and I had to drive someone else into work, it actually ended up costing me more money because of all that added weight. It couldn't handle the second person. Like, if I put my girlfriend or something like that in, who cares? There's not a lot of weight there, right? But like, if I was carpooling into work with like bigger guys and stuff like that, yeah, I would definitely, you would see a huge change in just the fuel economy. It was ridiculous. I've seen some crazy, like, 80s, 90s Civics at car shows. Like, they're actually pretty nice cars. They're able to be whatever you want them to be. That's why everyone loves them. You could be the most reliable, cheap, bulletproof car, just buy it, leave it as is from factory. But I've seen people put V8s and stuff like that in them, and it's just ridiculous because they weigh nothing. It's like putting a V8 in a go-kart. It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I'm not too... I still carpool and everything. I'm not... If I could save, if I could save gas, especially right now, I'm all for that. With it, times as crazy as they are, I've always been into having extra food, having extra, like, keep a couple jerry cans around, but I'm like, a couple ain't enough. I'm like, extra food? Okay, I think I might have had enough extra food to be comfortable throughout this time. I'm not, like, I don't think Mini Mill's gonna understand anything about food shortages or any of that. But the gasoline shortages, he's probably gonna notice. Just driving him around and everything, seeing the lines and all that, but in order to save gas, I've just been like, I'll pay $10 just to get my groceries delivered. I'll order them. I don't care. I just want to save my gas. It's like liquid gold nowadays. Mine is stock. 2 years ago, my garage door was open, and the guy offered me $30K for it as is. That's crazy, Sarge. Those things are awesome, though. And one that doesn't need a paint job, I could see people offering $30K for. People like those probably more than, like, my 91 Camaro. Like, I bet there's a much bigger following for the Honda Civic. Because if you want a nice, cheap, reliable car that will just be the most bulletproof, fuel-efficient, reliable thing on the road, it's either that or like a Geo Metro. But the Civic, you could also use for, like, I've seen people put V8s, as I said, in them. I've seen them go, be absolutely crazy fast. Just out of this world beyond what anyone would expect a car to be able to do. And they had a car that's faster than like a Ferrari or Lamborghini for $25,000 all said and done. And it was a stock motor that came out of a Corvette and just plopped into that, and they paid a lot to have a mechanic do the plumbing and like chop and weld the drive shaft and all that kind of stuff. Crazy though what that car was capable of. That's like he didn't even need to put 25 into the how it drove. He like got a custom interior and everything. But I remember seeing it and thinking this is better than like a Lamborghini, and he paid like 25,000, less than a brand new Civic basically. Yeah, that's the thing. Once he puts a V8 in it, it's not going to be cheap to fix anymore. It's going to be pricey to fix. He put bigger tires on it, so every tire change. That's the thing. 17-inch tires, they're the biggest you could go while still getting reasonably priced tires to swap and stuff for the winter, summer, all that kind of stuff. Once you go up to 18-inch tires, it costs too much. It's not worth it. And then you see people put the big wheels on and the really small, like low profile tires. That's kind of what my Infiniti has, and I want to go down from 19s to 18s to add that extra profile. Just so that the like 19-inch tires on that, you have such low profile, you're having too many sidewall issues. A Dodge Grand Caravan with a Hellcat motor, that would be awesome. Yeah, some of those Hellcats, I think they went up to like 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, but they start at 700. That's beyond like double what the most powerful car I've personally drove. I've been in cars that have been crazy fast and stuff like that, but I've never actually driven anything like that. Yeah, the new Car Sarge, I'm not a big fan of either. They're too crammed under the hood. You can't do anything yourself. I like a car that, like the Camaro, it's not the best car in the world, but it's a nice fun car for the summers and everything like that. Parts are cheap, they're very common to get, and they're so owned that if you wanna, you could do anything yourself. And there's a million how-to videos on every single issue on YouTube and everything. That's why I really like the Corvettes and Camaros. You get them very cheap. If you don't mind working on the car yourself. Parts are cheap. You can find parts at all these different swap meets. I guarantee you go to the swap meet, you'll find a Camaro or a Corvette part, whatever part you're looking for. It's crazy. Unless you have a first or second gen Corvette, then it might be hard to find those parts. Yeah, right now I got my entire traction control system not working on my Infiniti, and the ABS isn't working. I've been told that's because the brake comes on when the brake pads are low, so I'm gonna do that and see if anything changes. But I honestly don't care if I have traction control or ABS. Like if you brake too hard, release the brakes. If you like, yeah, I'm not racing on public streets. I don't need traction control. $200 for a program the car. That is crazy. Yeah, the newest car I've ever owned is a 2008 Ford Focus, way back when. But yeah, I sold that. I got that for about $5,000 though, but Fords, I find they gave me a bunch, they just have a bunch of issues. Where The Camaro has a bunch of issues, but that still just runs. You can still get from point A to B fine. It might give you an issue here or there, but like I leave a couple tools in the car, leave a ratchet set and a couple screwdrivers, and I just don't worry. I'm like, I'll pull over, I'll fix it, and like it's broken down on me a bunch of times, but it's never taken me more than 10 minutes to get back up and running and like on the way. Like the Infiniti, that thing just seems bulletproof. That thing's like the most reliable thing I've ever seen it, but it's a guzzler for gas. That's the downside to that. And it's got a tiny trunk. Like getting my tools in and out, it's a task. I don't think people need to know that, Michael. Good to see you, though. But, yeah, it's pretty crazy how I still see everyone just speeding around and everything. I'm thinking, we don't have any gas. If you're ripping around and everything, like hard acceleration as soon as the light turns green, how are you even gonna, like any vehicle gonna last 10 days? That just doesn't make sense, and our government is saying it's gonna be at least 10 days. Yeah, I really like, Nissan's definitely my favorite brand of all imports. But I'm more of a Chevrolet kind of guy. Chevy's made some of my favorite cars in all history. In a Grand Caravan for years and would never let anyone else drive it because none of them knew its quirks. It's fine for me, anyone else trying to drive it would die. That's what I feel about the Camaro. I remember driving my brother and his girlfriend around in it, and they were both like, because it broke down and everything, they're just like, oh no, like, how are we gonna get back? And like 5 minutes later it's running. Like, we went somewhere else, and then it broke down again. 2 minutes later it was running. They're just like, yeah, I don't know how you get around in this thing. I'm just like, oh, it's got its quirks, again, it's got its issues, but once, like, you know the issues, you're fine. You know the fixes to those issues, like, who cares? But I'm planning on pulling out the 305 in that Camaro and putting in a 383, but I'm not doing that though until, like, I'm putting that off as an expense. With all the craziness in the world today, there's other priorities. I'm just having a cash reserve. I'd rather have to take the cash reserve out of a motor than metals that I'd be buying or anything else like that. Yeah, they make some good motors. Yeah, horrible suspensions too. Every time I could hit a worm on the road in that Camaro, and it feels like the car doors and trunk and stuff are gonna fall off, and I've joined the Camaro Club and everything like that, and I'm not in the club or anything anymore. They actually shut down, but yeah, it apparently was normal for that to be the case on the 3rd gens. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I got a turn signal that stays on in the Camaro. I've got like sometimes the after every winter the air conditioning and like nothing will blow at all to like defrost the windshield or something in the morning. So you gotta, like right at the beginning of the year, you gotta give the motor a good bang to free up the bearings from seizing. So it's quite a few things. Like it's got a bad connection somewhere on the subwoofer. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm thinking it probably has a pinched wire that just needs to be spliced back together. Then there's the exhaust. I think it needs... Oh no, the exhaust got done, sorry. Got headers, back, exhaust, all new. All custom. But yeah, there's quite a bit that needs to be done. And the headers and exhaust resized for the 383 that will come. Yeah, there's quite a bit though about the Chevys that I don't like from factory, but there's quite a bit about them that I just love from factory. Yeah, one thing that I'm realizing that I've neglected in prepping and all of that is definitely gasoline. That's something that I definitely need to get, and a better generator. Yeah, at least you got gold and silver though, Sean. Like, if this lasts and if it's like a month and we're still getting these really major downpours, I might be selling some gold and silver. Well, I guess I already am with the jewelry, but that's not really intended to be stacking. But that's why we have it, right? Because rough times will come and it will come in very, very handy. And if I were to sell my entire stack right now, it's outpaced inflation from when I've started stacking my cost average. Like, my silver's outpaced inflation. Gold actually has not, surprisingly. Years ago I worked in car audio. We sell this kid a 5K system, massive amps and stuff. We give an estimate for installation. Kid says no. My buddy does this for a living, and he leaves. Yeah, I've turned down the free stuff before, but I'm an electrician, so if I'm going to do the audio and everything, I already know it. Like, and before I became an electrician, I worked with data cabling for things like data wiring, audio systems, all of that. So I've turned down the thing before, but it's mostly like, I just don't want you touching my car, I want to do it myself. But I also like working on cars, right? But if he's gonna get his buddy to do it, I just get the guy who does this every single day. Like, I might be an electrician. I think I'm a better electrician than a lot of the guys who are doing street lighting only and stuff like that, but as I say, me compared to some of those guys who've been doing that for 5-10 years, working on the same kind of light every day, they could tell you every single thing about that light and do that work in their sleep. They know everything about it. So I feel like that might be the same with you and them. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting till the craziness ends, but they have some generators pop up at those auctions. Like today I got a bunch of Milwaukee M18 stuff for 400 bucks. It was a bandsaw, sawzall, 2 impact drivers. And I already have an impact and sawzall, but my sawzall and impact are dying, but there's 3 batteries that are the 5 amp hour batteries. So I was pretty happy to get those, because those are like over they're like 150 bucks each. And then a 6 battery charger for him. But my impact definitely needs to be replaced, because that it's not switching directions properly anymore. And this is all the Milwaukee fuel stuff, right? So the bandsaw, that's hundreds of dollars just in the bandsaw. And as an electrician, I want to get my own bandsaw just because I work a lot with pipes and stuff like that, bending pipe, fitting it. And yeah, it works. Like, that's what you need for cutting it. Right now I'm just kind of using a sawzall. Oh, absolutely, Sarge. And there's times where it's also like, you might be able to figure it out, but like, how much damage are you gonna do to the thing figuring it out, and how much time will it take you to figure it out? It might just be more worth your time to not try to save. You can make dollars elsewhere trying to, instead of saving pennies in this time doing things that you're bad at. It could be more cost efficient to just pay the guy and make your money at doing what you're good at doing. Yeah, Makita tools I liked. When it, like, doing the street lighting and traffic and signs and Christmas lights, all that kind of stuff. Everything that I got my company to give me was Makita, because I knew they could last in the rain and the weather and everything. That's the one thing. I like, all my stuff is Milwaukee, but it doesn't last in the rain or anything like that. You can't use it outside. And yeah, vacation time I prefer the battery power tools because of the convenience, and because the batteries they can last for a while now. It's not like 4 or 5 years ago where they'd last for maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then they're done. Like, I could use one battery at work. Like in my bandsaw, one battery lasts days now. So it's just the convenience of not needing the cord and all that. Sounds a little like my riding sounds a little like my riding mower. I've never burned it down. I have foil in the sensor and the seat to keep it from shutting off. Oh, the alternator doesn't work, I see. Makes sense. My buddy nearly burned his shed doing the electrical instead of paying his neighbor, who is an electrician, $100 to do it. Yeah, I completely agree with that. If you don't know how to do it, if you have someone there to show you, that's one thing. But if you're completely figuring it out on your own, you have to consider how much damage you're going to do to your car or whatever you're working on, like the shed, or how much time it'll take you to figure it out, and is it actually worth it when you could make more money elsewhere instead of trying to figure all this stuff out right here, right now. While my friend and I burned down his dad's shed in high school. We were trying to light a bulb recipe from the anarchist cookbook. Well, at least you figured it out, Sean47. I mean, if you didn't do it, someone else had to, right? Someone's gotta do it. That is very true, Sarge. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna hop off now, but it's good to see everyone. I really appreciate everyone coming to hang out. It's really good to see everyone, talk to everyone in these crazy times that are going on right now. And yeah, it's good to just have some kind of normal sense of what's normal from the past. Just talk to all of you guys and everything. And I really do appreciate every one of you. But I guess we should find someone to raid. His neighbor told him it cost $250, but I'll do it for $100. My bud refused. Luckily, his wife had bought me extinguishers. Yeah, luckily. Yeah, I've had my neighbor was a mechanic, so he's a lawyer, but his dad was a mechanic, and he did all the maintenance on his cars, so he taught me a lot about cars. And exactly what tools are the bare minimum that you need to get before you even touch your car or anything like that. How to pop off all the panels and everything like that, and access everything without damaging things. So you can watch someone on YouTube, but most of the people on YouTube on those how-to videos actually are damaging their car, popping off all those panels. But I'll check the YouTube here and see who is live that we could go raid. You know what, let's do Everyday Opportunity. That's a great channel, and yeah, he's just an awesome guy. So there's the link that I dropped. And I will see you all over there. Drop the 4s. Drop a beaver emoji. Yeah, AC is awesome. Great channel. Yeah, Jeff Crumpler's pretty awesome too. I've raided him a couple times lately. I don't think I've actually given Everyday Opportunity a raid yet though, so I'd help Jeff Crumpler out because he's a smaller growing and everything, but I haven't given EC a raid yet, and he's helped me out quite a bit, so I think I'll do that for now. But I'll see you over there.